Welcome, students, to MasterClass 11 and 12. Imagine, just for a second, standing high up on a hill. You're looking down at your entire community and they're all celebrating on a beach, completely oblivious to a devastating tsunami that is gathering force just over the horizon. You have literally mere seconds to act, and there is no way you can shout loud enough to warn them. So what do? Well, today we're kicking off this explainer with exactly this high-stakes scenario as we unpack the profoundly moving Japanese tale, A Living God.
Right off the bat, I want you to keep this one core premise in the back of your mind throughout our session. What exactly makes a mortal a living god? How does an ordinary flesh-and-blood human being elevate themselves to the status of a deity through one single monumental act? This is the central question your examiners are absolutely going to want you to explore.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be hitting the setting and background, doing a complete story breakdown, pulling out the core themes, looking at high-value quotes, doing a quick comprehensive summary, and then covering your next steps. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Setting and Background.
Okay, we've got to start by establishing the physical layout of this coastal village, because honestly, the geography here isn't just background decoration, it's the literal foundation of the whole plot. Up high, we have the plateau. This is where our protagonist lives. It's safe, it's surrounded by woods, and it offers this perfect clear vantage point. But down below, we have the bay. The village is down there on the low ground, highly vulnerable. And right now, they are throwing a massive party with music and dancing to celebrate a hugely abundant rice harvest. This stark physical separation between the safe high ground and the dangerous low ground is absolutely critical to the crisis that's about to unfold. Now, you absolutely need to know the term chocho. Our main character, Hamaguchi Gohei, is the chocho. He isn't just some elderly villager. This title means he represents deep authority, significant wealth, and a massive amount of responsibility. He is far-sighted, he's honest, and the villagers rely on him for everything. He settles their disputes, helps them price their rice, you name it. He's essentially the father of the village, which makes the choice he's about to make so much heavier.
All right, Section 2, Story Breakdown.
Let's trace the text paragraph by paragraph and walk through the exact chronology of this disaster. So it's late afternoon, there's this unnatural, heavy heat in the air. Suddenly, Hamaguchi feels an earthquake. But it isn't violent, it's this long, slow, unusual tremor. Down below, the villagers barely even notice it over their partying. But Hamaguchi's intuition instantly kicks in. Japan is known for seismic activity, and his mind flashes back to his grandfather's ancient stories of massive, destructive harbor waves. And then, the true terror begins. The sea darkens and rapidly draws away from the shore. It pulls back so far that the seabed is totally exposed, revealing ribbed sand and broken shells no one has ever seen before. The villagers are amazed, right? They literally run toward the ocean floor to gawk at it. But Hamaguchi, looking down from his plateau, is horrified. He knows a massive tsunami is imminent, and he knows there is absolutely zero time to send a messenger or ring the temple bell. This is where his incredible presence of mind shines, and you definitely want to write this down. Hamaguchi yells at his young grandson Tada to bring him a burning torch. Without hesitating, he takes that torch and sets fire to his own freshly harvested rice stacks, his mura-asa. We're talking about his entire year's wealth, his whole livelihood, just up in flames. He destroys his own fortune for one reason, to force the villagers up the hill to put out the fire, using that thick black smoke as a desperate, massive distress signal. And you know what? The crazy plan works. The temple bells start ringing, and 400 men, women, and children rush up that hill to save their beloved Chocho's fields. They get to the top completely breathless, basically questioning his sanity. Why would he burn his own crops? But Hamaguchi doesn't say a word. He just points to the horizon. And right then, a monstrous wall of water strikes the coast. It completely obliterates the village, the fields, every single thing they own, leaving just a couple of straw roofs floating in the wreckage. But every single one of those 400 lives is standing safely on the plateau. This brilliantly captures the theme of ultimate sacrifice. Just look at the contrast here. Before the wave, Hamaguchi was one of the wealthiest guys in the village. After the wave, he is materially impoverished. He has lost all his property. And yet, he gains something so much greater. He looks at his people, alive and safe, and he is entirely content. He lost his wealth, for sure, but he preserved humanity.
Moving on to Section 3, Core Themes.
Let's shift gears from the narrative to the academic side, because these 4 pillars are the beating heart of the text for your exams. First, we have the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good.
choosing 400 human lives over a year of personal wealth. Second, his sheer presence of mind in a crisis. Panic would have gotten everyone killed, but his quick thinking saved them. Third is the victory of community survival over personal wealth. And finally, reverence for ancestral wisdom. If Hamaguchi hadn't remembered his grandfather's stories about the receding sea, that entire village would be gone. Now, you've really got to pay attention to this cultural context, because examiners love it when you bring in the background lore. In Shinto belief, a truly great noble soul can be worshipped as a divine spirit, a kami. The villagers are so overwhelmingly grateful that even though they are now impoverished, they build a permanent temple dedicated to Hamaguchi. They declare him an ikigami, a living god. They literally worship him as Hamaguchi Daimyojin, all while he's still walking around living a humble mortal life among them. He becomes the living embodiment of divine protection.
Next up, Section 4, High-Value Quotes.
If you want top marks on your long answers, you need to be dropping these quotes in. Here's your first one. The sea darkening and rapidly drawing away from the shore. Notice how the author uses this line to build incredible suspense. It perfectly demonstrates the unnatural environmental warning signs that the partying villagers completely ignored, but that the wise Chocho recognized instantly.
Quote number 2. He destroys it solely to create a massive distress signal. Use this quote when you need to emphasize his swift, totally selfless decision-making. The moment he realized the temple bell was too slow to save them, he didn't blink. He turned his own fortune into a beacon of salvation.
And the third one, Hamaguchi stands impoverished but content, having saved his people. This is your golden ticket for character analysis essays. It captures his internal transformation perfectly. There's zero regret over losing his material wealth, because the human lives he saved were infinitely more valuable to him.
All right, Section 5, Comprehensive Summary.
Let's tie all of this together into a high-yield summary so you can easily review this before your exam. Notice how the plot directly fuels the themes. Hamaguchi's intuition, heavily rooted in ancestral wisdom, detects the tsunami. He sacrifices his harvest to create a fiery beacon. 400 villagers rush uphill, escaping the deadly wave. The physical village is destroyed, but the human community survives. And because of this ultimate selflessness, he's deified as an ikigami. Seriously, if you can write a solid paragraph expanding on each of these 5 points, you are ready for any question they throw at you.
Finally, Section 6, Next Steps.
Before we wrap up this MasterClass explainer, here's what you need to do to lock in your success. Make sure you subscribe to MasterClass 11 and 12 so you don't miss any of our full syllabus coverage. And more importantly, click the link down in the description and join our Telegram channel right now. That is exactly where you can download the complete, high-quality chapter notes and all the PDF study material for A Living God and the rest of your texts. I want to leave you with this final, really powerful thought. Hamaguchi didn't have hours or even minutes to debate his morals. He had seconds. If you were standing on that hill and you were suddenly forced to choose between your entire life savings and the lives of 400 people down below, would you have the immense courage to strike the match? Ponder that as you study this incredible story. Keep working hard, and I will see you in the next MasterClass Explainer.